Hello and welcome to Napoleon Total War. We are joined again once with the HC clan. I believe we got General Cronje. I don't know how to pronounce your name, I apologise. And also I will apologise for the delay. You sent me this probably just shy a month ago now. I haven't been this busy in a while. Plus, if I do have free time, I may or may not have been wasting it playing Dota, because I got back into that again. So, alright, as you can see here, we are on the loading map. We are joined here by Austria and Russia. And we are against the French. As you can see here, has already managed to get all of their cavalry units up upon this hill here, sending from the left, got some in the front middle. As you can see here, he is clearly straight away. He's either gonna, I believe he does charge. I did there we go, yes, he does. Austria didn't get these guys up in square formation in time. I managed to get all these guys in square though, I never know, just in case the other one decide to fully commit. This here has obviously delayed the Austrians' movement, giving the French and who are their allies today, Prussia, the ability now to properly form up along the from the higher ground here. So be interested to see where this goes. I don't know if it would have been viable if we just got this here and got these units up the right hand side. And also I forgot actually the cavalry charge over here. The what was he got here? He has sort of gears and some Uhlans, two Uhlans. Kinda got hit in a bit of a cross section here, so obviously in terms of the terrain. The French do have the upper hand in charging as well, especially since they do have the shot alongside as well. So obviously do some initial damage before the charge fully commits. Prolonged melee though, I'm surprised it didn't pull out sooner, because you've got the Lance Cavalry. Lance Cavalry does kind of be the horse gunman quite a bit in prolonged melee. And as you can see over here, and we'll keep an eye on that. Over here, as you can see though, Austria's starting to pull back his men. He's got something up here, I think, just to cover any form of charge like these guys here. I don't know if they managed to commit. He's obviously now Austria's pulling back his men here, getting a few shots off. They get into square. Oh no, they can't get into square for in time because they are light infantry, but at the same time, he did manage to get the Jaegers to bring down a lot of the spikes. Did heavy casualty to the French cavalry. Then we'll see if the reinforcing fire managed to break the unit relatively easily. Over here, as you can see, Prussia sending his hussars. Did he bring hussars? He did bring hussars. Hurrahs. Not really much to commentate there, because I'm going to bet quite a bit that Austria will lose his cavalry here on the right hand side, mainly due to mispositioning here, especially on the charge, the Balkan numbers, etc, etc, etc. I can see now France is also moving up his men just a little bit more here. His forces gone into square formation. Yeah, viable against that amount of troops, and we've got to be careful about, obviously, as you can see here, the Baltic gears have now been brought up for additional firepower pretty down upon these. In terms of terrain, actually, he may be, this unit here is particularly covered. As you see here, he's obviously not going to commit to a charge. He's got some more units up here. Don't know what the Austrians are clearly doing here. The Prussians, the word I was looking for. Thank you. They're now pretty much brought up to where the French were about 2 minutes ago. And so you're going to be careful here. There's a few dead rounds hitting into the bank. I hope my game has not frozen. This game has no, it did not freeze. Wonderful. I don't know if you guys managed to see that slight pause. Two shots happening here. If you really want to take advantage of it, you can just charge in there. You got to be careful over with cavalry, so I guess the charge probably wasn't the best of ideas. Austria's now falling back up here to this little hill. It's got its light infantry and skirmish all set up for covering fire. Pretty want to pull back these guys. Don't know if it was a misclick here, but these walking up here has sustained the odd casualty from the Volgears above here on the higher ground. Let's see what Russia's doing. Russia's now bringing up its forces to secure the flank. As I did say, I did try and record this the other time, but it was accidentally being recorded from my USB camera, this microphone, which is awful. And I was like, this sounds disgusting, so I have to redo it. So this was a short while, I guess, when I first got the video. That's why I haven't been overly motivated to do it straight off the back, along with the business schedule. But as I stated before, I don't know if it could have been wise to maybe have a few troops down here on the side here, maybe try and hit there before Prussia fully mobilizes. Try and bulk her out and weaken some of the French units. And the bad thing is, as you can see, the French do have the high ground superiority, plus it would have been a slight woodland, so you would have wasted a few rounds in general, but then also Russia's not the best of accuracy. Go over here now, let's bring up the Austrians. I don't know where he's bringing these guys. Again, he's got to worry about the misclicking here. How I would play this, I'll always play this a little bit more passively. I'd have not had these guys straight up. Couple reinforcing the guys here, maybe the one on the flank due to the cavalry, and use your superior range to slowly pick off the units that need to get picked off. As you can see here, that the Russians are pushing up now with their Jaegers. Wonderful units in their own right. Couple Landwehr here, obviously being moved up first to take the front of the shots. Also now as a few fires gone off now, it's probably do a lot more damage to the Volunteers, and the Volunteers would do back to them. Also got some Grenadiers here in the mix. Never forgotten the purpose of why. As in why someone would bring Grenadiers. As you can see here now, the Russians are ever so slowly moving up. So I mean, tongue-tied. It's one of those days. And actually, if you are Cornishmen, I don't know how many of you will be Cornish. Happy St. Piran's Day, or in I think in Cornish is how is it pronounced in Cornish? You'll find out. We'll be back in a minute. Obviously not back in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute if I remember it. There you go, a few shots off here by the Russian light infantry. So you got the upper Lanchy here, or the little militia units here, just to absorb a few of the shots. Sorry for a slight pause, I heard a weird noise from my left, so I had to like the bunk, and I heard the cat bell, so that's good as the cat. As you can see here, Austria's now decided to pull back, probably wise due to the Prussians sort of unmobilized. I do hear a charge. I think that's going to be from cavalry, maybe. Yeah. I'm like, where is the charge coming from? Surprisingly enough, Cossacks with I think 2 grade, can't remember quite sure, was actually surprisingly really good and quite cost effective as well. As you can see here, the Russians got more of the men. I don't know if they're bringing them all too far. They're just being down here into the woodlands. Very odd placing, but time will tell if it proves all that wise. Keep an eye out here for any cavalry charges or any
the men are fatigued, sir.
anything exceptional. Oh, however, we do put a slight fast forward on, not because of any particular reason, apart from this game does last for quite a while. And also in these standby moments, you want to have a little bit of edge, just to speed up just a little bit. As you can see here, the Austrians are moving his. What are these here? They're just German Fusiliers, a couple of German Fusiliers pushing up to the right hand side. I'm not really too sure. Oh, no, they're not pushing up to the right hand side at all. They're just sort of reinforcing this line. As you can see here, that we're sending up his men. I just got a Skype boot up. Check his men here. Oh, Grenadiers. We've got 3 Grenadiers and 2 of the Jaegers. Also the Russians, as we saw a minute ago, they have was it 4 or 5? I found that really opposition. I don't know why. Alright, looks like we come to a little bit of a standstill as well. So I'm just going to click the slight fast forward. Prussians are sort of alright, Skype, calm down. And so the same Prussian now sort of moving his men upon his left hand side here. I don't know if it'd be wise for Prussia to sort of focus quite a core army just come down here without much movement, especially if the French are on your side as well. You were about to outgun the Austrians with relative ease. As you can see here, he's just sticking down to pull down some of his Fusiliers down here, also to get some few shots off here on the Landwehr, but the Landwehr were wise and brought them down before any additional shots did come off. Russia, on the other hand, is still marching off for another Crimean War. Why the hell not? Let's do it. Backing up. Don't even know if you got that. Again, just gonna hit the fast forward button. As you can see here, Austria setting up a few of the skirmishers. to what I believed he was. But as I was going to say, with hypothetical situations, got get three sets of Fusiliers. I'm not up here, well, not directly here, because they don't get shot pretty easily. Set them up along this ridge, get a couple of men reinforcement, obviously keep them up the hill here, plus you got the French to cut off any side hits or anything like that, and you can just drill fire down to the Austrian lines. I wouldn't say we're relatively easy, obviously there will be some catches in it, but Austria's going to come off a lot worse a back foot than the Prussian army, if he were to do that. Again, I'm going to hit the fast forward button. I'm not being rude in doing this, like I said. It does last a while, this game. It's entertaining though. The stuff in this game which I have not seen since this game. Oh, we are back into straight mute. Is he pulling his men? Yeah, he's pulling his Austrians right back. Russia, however, is starting to mobilize his cavalry. And starts bringing all his men back down on the left hand side. This is a position that you cannot really attack with much ease, to be fair. So I don't blame our little alliance here to hold off in their own little way and very hesitant to actually attack the circles. Like we discussed, you will end up being a lot worse off than your enemies, which I'm surprised that these people haven't taken advantage of that and actually shown a lot more aggression, sort of left them as they were. But by the looks of it now, Austria is starting to pull way back down to the left hand side of the map. If they were to be attacking the hill, this is a little bit steadier slope here, but it's counteracted by the light woodland, as we spoke of just a little bit ago. You can look at the French army now. It's got a couple of Swissfoot, some young guards, some Polish Legion, obviously some old guard knocking at old guard straight off the back, knocking about here, and one of the newer added units, codenamed the Brave. As you can see here now, also Prussia's starting to move. Again, I think wise when Prussia moves down to this little valley here. Obviously, he'll miss these here as well for his cavalry. For his cavalry. Steady moving. I would say now is a good time to strike. Obviously, you catch them when they're off guard. But obviously, the Russians will obviously mobilize straight off the back and return fire. Though the efficiency of the Austrian army, if they were to get caught out, could be heavily affected. So it would have been wise to hit a little bit earlier, especially if the French and the Prussians worked quite well in unison. They could buckle the Russians' right hand side here. I will just do a quick pause because Skype would be my partner and couldn't know what she would say. And we are back. Though for you guys there'll be no break unison. Once again, I hate doing it, but we're gonna hit fast forward just a little bit, just to see here, get this game momentum on just a tad. I'm gonna come down here again, because you can see the French cavalry is already moving out at high speed down across. I don't know if they're going to be coming across down the river, or it's going to be well, that guy's there, it's bunkered here. As you can see here, so I've got the land we're positioned in front of both his and the Russians' men. Not sure what happened to the Russian militia actually. It's going to be knocking about here somewhere. There you go. With the French now mobilizing across the river here, as you can see. A couple of Russian and the other Austrian units are also mobilizing out with them. only 35 between them. You can probably just take that down with a misclick, with a click onto focus and fire. Although you also got to be careful just a little bit. Oh, what's this? There you go. Austria is now starting to mobilize pretty much all of their troops back now. Also got to be careful here of the Russians. Russians don't want to be caught off guard by both units here. So as you can see, Prussia is starting to slightly mobilize. As I said again before, if they did march down and hit from this angle, they still would have been a lot better off against the Russian army, especially in terms of sure rate of fire. If you've got to worry about is cavalry, but as you can see here, you do double their numbers in terms of that. Plus, also you got flight distraction over here. Not all of the Russian army is going to be fully focused up there because they have to move all of these guys back and these guys. And now that the Austrians have moved out the way, the French could also push down and hit from the side as well. What would have been the side if the Russians would have had to move. You can see here they already got some cavalry. They have 6 units of cavalry. That's fucking. Probably you should pull these guys back soon. Slightly interested in what's happening over here. I don't know what happened to I know one of the units are running away, and got 7 left, so I'm going to assume they did try and, yeah, as you can see here, did try and get a charge off, but the Russians managed to fire off a few rounds, win the bet, that this would have been friendly fire. Not a large casualties, but at the same time, you don't really want to take a lot of anything. Obviously now Prussia is starting to do mobilize on the right hand side. Obviously now they're going to force the Russians back to push. Whoa, pardon me, I should not be doing videos after I had lunch. As I was saying, as you can see, it's obviously forced the Russians to push back a little bit or try and form some fault line here. It's going to give the French, as you can see here, time to move up and hopefully get a few shots off the unprepared units. I do believe this would have done a little bit more beneficial a little bit earlier in the game, because you would have forced them to take them far, because then there'd be more troops here and less troops already over into the bank. Mass charge here by the Prussian hussars. The Russians are returning it. Brave motherfuckers. This one unit here is pretty wise to send them on an angle here, try and coax them around. Delay out these guys here so they won't charge into the light infantry, but it looks like they're not doing that anyway. They're just going to turn around, try and bait and get the free kill from the Russian Uhlans. Huh. Still managed to do quite a good amount of damage though. He almost took out 2 units by himself. Did manage to rout 1 unit, but obviously the hit on the side, it was far too much for them to handle. French now, as you can see here, are moving down relatively quickly, trying to hit them as easy as they can before all of their troops fully push across the river. Austria, as you can see here, has clearly made it. Some cavalry hit into here, obviously delaying the Russians a little bit. Their militia units decided they couldn't go in square formation. Would have been wise to put these guys in square formation though, or it would have been wise as soon as you hit them to push across to the rest of the men to delay them from firing. Because as you can see now, the Russians have returned the favour. Hit into the Baltic gears, much better trade. I'd rather take out my cavalry to destroy 1 or maybe 2 set of light infantry opposed to 1 set of militia. I don't know if he did manage to get his guys in square formation here. Nope, he managed to get everyone to charge. Prolonged melee with light infantry if you're Russia's not too bad. They actually are relatively okay in a little bit of melee situations. Plus, I believe they're the only light infantry units that actually have bayonets on their little rifles. So I just add there. I don't know if he's going to get these guys in square formation in time, or is just going to let them be hit. Nope, he did manage to get in square formations. Also hope to delay these, and hopefully delay these. If not, at least he'll get off the gunfire, as you can see. Also doing with this unit here, creating a small little broad here for the cavalry. Probably don't want to risk that, as you can see he's pulling away already. Also you got this here, going to return some fire. You got some Moscow musketeers as well. A unit which I haven't yet actually seen in proper combat. I've seen them a little bit in this one, obviously previous, as I mentioned. Jeez, as you can see now, Prussia is starting to fully coax around onto left hand side here. Fastly mobilizing up all of his line infantry, and also got his cavalry here just to hit any stragglers or trying to delay their crossover a little bit more. Austria, however, as you can see here, has got some men. Oh, they do have some men. Well, they got some cruisers at least just to cover this for an extra few rounds of fire. And you can see now, yeah, Austria is pretty much setting up all his men. You can just see. Sorry, I'm just spinning around. I don't know if any of you's taken any of that in. But as you can see here, Prussia is still keeping up the pressure and the charge down onto the Russians. Don't want to get them too far out of the way. You can manage to get these guys in the square here. As soon as I see them pinned in the square, I always just pull these guys back and let your guns do the work, and then charge again if need to, instead of wasting your cavalry here. As you can see, it did delay these guys, although they're starting to run away now. 80 range, they're adjusting, so the time you stop and load up, you guys still need to reload. You'll be gone by there. Some skirmisher battles over here. As you can see, volunteers have tried to start up into the Grenzers. The Grenzers will win that with relative ease, so it's probably going to be wise to pull back those volunteers as soon as possible, until at least your men get a little more comfortable up there. I don't know why the French general is still knocking about. Cavalry has managed to push through there and starting to lay these musketeers here. These musketeers also going to want to start falling back as soon as possible, because you've got these guys here lining up ready to take on fire, and you don't want these additional free units or even this cavalry unit to start harassing you. As you can see here, it's got another unit down. So what I do is have one square here, one square there, and you start moving this one down. That's going to be a checkpoint and some cover from these guys, so it looks like they were delayed on something. However, they have now engaged into combat. Got them in square formation, so now that these guys are in square, I was going to say you might as well just get these guys, pull them back. You've got some more musketeers here, obviously, to cover their register in case any of them do decide to prolong the melee. But looks like that's not the case, and now the musketeers are going to be running back as fast as they can before all of the Prussians open fire. And you can see some gunsmithers already starting to settle since some shots had been fired on the little ridge that they were in. It's obviously covered them a bit for from that gunfire. I was really careful now. You guys didn't manage to get hit quite nicely in square. They are in water though, so I do believe that the effectiveness of, the efficiency of the cavalry is slightly deteriorated. As you can see here, they really are starting to waver a little bit, and soon they may possibly rout. But there's one more gunfire coming in. Only bad thing about this, when your cavalry is like that, you're also putting a lot of rounds into your cavalry as well as the musketeers. But you did manage to break musketeers set of cavalry for some Russian infantry. I'd rather lose the cavalry, to be fair. So I reckon that trade-off there, or this whole trade-off push down, has proved quite nicely here for the Prussians. Prussians actually have a general. I also noticed a second ago. They do have the additional unit for some more guns. It's a easy way to look at things, but you never know. It does what it can quite work. As you can see here, Austria's got some guys here in skirmish mode against Landwehr. He's bringing up some Landwehr against the Voltigeurs, but he is bringing up some Landwehr. Probably just to sit. Yeah, I was going to say just to sit along the riverbank here. They will get a few rounds off themselves. Plus, there's almost gunfire from the Voltigeurs. Only bad thing is, since the Grenzers tend to crouch, I don't know if he actually is on there. Alright, they're shooting relatively up and they're relatively low, which is quite nice. It's going to say you don't want these Grenzers here just to be shooting all of the rounds into the back of your men. Seems like Prussia's got a lot of men here for no real reason. Probably best just to send up, like what they do, or what they have done here for Landwehr. Send up some men here to absorb some bullets, and send up all of your Prussian Fusiliers after the first shot got fired. Set them up and let them start returning fire. Prussian Fusiliers have better reloading rate, plus better accuracy than the Russians, so it's going to get off more rounds. I can get set off anyway, and more rounds are going to land. So in the day, that's going to be a trade worth doing. Got some Grenadiers down here in a real odd little section here. Really not too sure why, but that's how it goes. In all fairness, it's going to be dragging their ammo more than anything, which you can use cheaper units than that to do. Obviously, as you can see here, the old guy did manage to get a few shots off, but as did the Austrian Jaegers. And he's even sent down the Grenzers, look at that. There you go, I was going to say it's going to be wise for the old guy to start moving out here. So they're just going to want to start pulling back this Landwehr and do this again later on, because they've set themselves up in a position now where they can just pick off that unit and then probably march up and start doing the fire again. But because the Voltigeurs act like skirmishers, despite being light infantry, their rate of fire in themselves will not be any contest to 3 sets of Grenzers. So anything that they really have going for them would be the additional bit of accuracy, but as we were saying, with the amount of more guns that the Grenzers have, the French would not be able to break that line with said tactics. I don't know what these guys are doing. They are very content on the shooting into the floor though. There's one thing I did like about, I believe it was Fall of the Samurai. If your men can't hit them, they won't shoot. It kind of stopped wasting your guys' ammo, but at the same time it sort of made the players have to be a little bit less aware, which was hit and miss, depends how you like looking about difficulty of everything. As you can see, you got some Hungarian Fusiliers starting to line up here. um, how the shooting tends to go. They're probably not shooting this house more than the Swissfoot, although I believe the Swissfoot are, yeah, they'll be out of range just by a little nudge. And that said, though, it looks like the Swissfoot are bringing up. Now is a good time, because obviously you've got these two units here slightly out of position, so if they do get their shots off from there, they will do a lot more damage. Yeah, there you go, they'll do a lot more damage, so they can probably return. Sorry, got a cough. I'm keeping an eye up over there on my mini map, but it seems like no real action is currently taking place. They are, yep, they are the Grenadier Tingers. Are they a bit? They have been targeted to go into the house. Although if they do manage to get into the house, they will break the Volkers easy. But as you can see here, with additional reinforcements plus the Ogard upon the flank, and did they have any cavalry? No, their cavalry got killed earlier up in the hills I just recorded. But as you can see here, this is going to be more or less just a killing ground for the Hungarians here, because they have been moving quite a lot as well, so they're very tight. Their mobility won't be anywhere near as good, and I think this battle, or this decision, will be highly wasted. Not only are you going to lose a ridiculous amount of men here pushing along the river, but as soon as you get into the house, you've got so many units here, especially with the old guard, and at least some, yep, there you go, some young guard here as well. And if they do manage to take the house from the Voltigeurs, they are not going to be able to hold it for any length of time, so it may have been a little bit more wise to save these for later. And if you want to try and hit a charge in, you could use them either as bait then, or especially the Grenadiers, to have them in melee while your guys with guns sort of reform this up just a little bit better. Did manage to get some guys in. I don't know why they seem so focused on the Voltigeurs. Although light infantry with range 100 getting the building to have a 125 range, they will be able to pick off some of these men here. Don't know again if it's worth losing so many men here, just sort of coaxing these guys back a little bit until you need to bring them up to actually fire. Gotta be careful with the Swissfoot here, obviously, because we get too close. You need to bring up these Fusiliers, or the Fusiliers may not have to move at all, and get a lot. There we go, let's have to move and get a nice barrage off there, killing about 14 men. Over here, as you can see, Russians are starting to charge. Who are these? They are the militia units though, so I don't know if they actually will be charging, or they're just sort of moving up to do what the Landwehr are doing here and just absorbing a few bullets and getting a few off in return. You never really lose too much funds with all of this. As you can see, the Grenzers obviously came up a little bit now and starting to do some casualties against these. Almost lost half their men over here, and he's also used the sixth of theirs. And you see, he's going to be careful now, although you are superior in terms of actual disciplined rate of fire here by the Prussians, but as he moves up, you got a fair few more men here as well, so the amount of fire returning will not be beneficial to you. Over here, as you can see, the Austrians did manage to break the Voltigeurs. That's always nice to see, but now you've got Olgard and some Swissfoot into the house, and obviously broke here two of your units, the Grenadiers and the more Fusiliers. Now with more occupied French, or Swiss as it may be, inside the house, should pull back these guys here so they're going to absorb unnecessary damage. Like so over here, the Russian militia is starting to pull back. It's very almost tit for tat kind of gameplay. Sorry, this guy keep getting out. Was yeah, that's 2. It shouldn't take too long now for this unit here to break. With that said, it looks like some honest Landwehr. Okay, I was gonna say it almost looked like the Jaegers for a second. I was like, you don't want Jaegers to break, especially in that sort of scenario. And you see Austria's now starting to pull back his men, probably make them run's going to be a little bit more beneficial for that. Obviously, because as they're walking lanes or just extra round or two, for unnecessary casualties. Some gunfire heading off here, and you got here, you got some 29 men, and you got the 37 up there. I believe he may have routed the other unit. There is a unit routing up into the foreground. Keeping an eye over here, putting more mainline. You can never really quite predict what Russians are going to do. 3 dead shots here landing. Alright, we have currently came to that moment again where I'm just going to quickly fast forward and have an angle here just so we can still see what's going on. As you can see, obviously Gren's still wanting to push up and do as much damage as they can here. You've got to be careful, see, because now the Prussians are starting to send on it. Nope, they decided against sending them in to help out the lines. No shame though, because all they have to do is bring it up here. We'll get the Volunteers to sort of walk up to us with a few more extra fire, get the Prussians then off the ground. They can probably do quite good against the Grenzers. Got to be careful, I guess, with the Jaegers. So that said, not the best idea to fully commit to. Looking like a rather nice standoff here, as you can see here. He's got some Swiss foot marching up. Hopefully they are just in range of, I say hopefully. Oh no, they're in range of the Russian musketeers there. We'll cover you with the box. We'll give you dignity. The other guy on the left can be, he's fine. He can sort of rest there for a little. There we go. So moving up, the Volunteers are starting to push up slightly. It would be nice if the Prussians here moved and reinforced this a little bit. They are more landware here to absorb bullets and get a few rounds off themselves. To be fair, that's actually quite a nice little trade tactic. At the end of the day, these Volunteers want to do efficient enough damage against landware, and obviously the landware being reinforced. Well, I would say they're being reinforced with this, but it looks like they're not actually. Oh no, there we go. The Grens are starting to reinforce their lines. Prussians are now getting into the fray finally. Let's see where it becomes a little bit risky for Austria. Not too sure the Russians done. The Russians are bring out some of their militia units. Militia. You can see this is a penal battalion. So if you march forward and absorb bullets, if you survive, you get given vodka. Winning. Such was life of the penal battalions. Well, that said, that's just not too bad, because a lot of the Prussians just absorbed a lot of bullets into this ridge here, effectively giving the Russians immunity, which is a horrifying thought if you're not on their side, I guess. And you see here, some Swiss foot is slightly mispositioning because they tried to get a few shots off into the German Fusiliers here, obviously making this whole line slightly ineffective, getting the shots down here like they pretty wanted to, and now being forced back, as you can see, because obviously the German Fusiliers, like Swiss. No. I'm still very. One has died. I don't know if I'd like to say that's in this gunfire, because I'd be amazed if it wasn't. I shouldn't just be looking at the corpses and like which one is it. Let's see, I managed to break some Volunteer units here. Obviously this Volunteer unit. Probably A doesn't have a lot of ammo left, and besides 30 men in the Volunteer unit aren't effective enough to fully commit worrying about. You pretty get your Grenadiers to shoot the Prussians over them, if possible of course. As you can see, Prussia has kind of probably realised now that most of his bullets were falling dead. Obviously the Russians ones were falling dead as well from this line here, so the Prussians are moving up, and also so the Russians. You're going to be careful now of the Russians, because like Russians tend to do, you're going to be careful at the land where units, as you can see, obviously being broken by the lines. Some Prussian units in the back did manage to get some gunfire off, so as you can see here, they did lose a large amount of men there, but they did manage to get into melee with the light infantry, which is going to be a nice little boost there for the Russians. Also, you're going to be worried about these musketeers as well now, because as soon as your men start standing up, some bullets will start flying into the back of their heads as well as in the faces of the enemies. I don't know if this is a really good time to push something else up. I don't know what Russia's decided to commit is German into it, and also a couple of sets of his Jaegers here. 3 set Jaegers here. Normally I'll bring 1 or 2 and have them sort of half stacked in loose formation, but I guess in this way you do have an extra or additional 87 men firing back down into the lines. Obviously the machine here wasn't going to stand much under all of this bonfire, all of this gunfire, bombarded by fire is probably what I was going to say. And as the smoke leaves the forest, you can see here that payoff probably did pay out quite a lot better to the Russians. Obviously you got this unit here still fairly committed, plus obviously the middle unit did suffer quite a few casualties. Some Grenadiers are now starting to retreat. They start to get into a little skirmish slugfest with the Prussians. Normally I would put my money on the Prussians over the Grenadiers. I don't know if the guys can say they probably will start committing a few additional reinforcements now due to that lack of fire. But now you got the Jaegers, who not only do have additional range, so the Prussian bullets will fall short. They do have a much higher accuracy, meaning that more bullets are going to fall. Obviously, Prussia's going to pull that back slightly because they won't win that. As you can see here, obviously the Russians pull back their Jaegers a little bit, and bringing up more militia units to do the whole thing over again. But this time the Prussians were not as misplaced last time. Obviously, a few rounds probably here did hit the little banks. Not many of them did die. They managed to bring up 2 sets now to delay this even further. I don't know if it's going to fall for the same charge twice. Time will tell. Over here, everything's gone pretty quiet. The left-hand side has been quiet for a long time. As you can see, he's already bringing out some Hungarians, and he's moved them to now to reinforce the middle bank. Probably wise, as really said, not much is really happening on the left-hand side. Over here, however, Prussians starting to mobilize their cavalry. Again, I wouldn't charge cavalry because all of this gunfire will devastate the menu, well, especially that unit, before they get into melee. And then with the additional actual guns firing to that unit against 2 militia units, it won't be all that beneficial. Because already, as you can see here, the militia units have paid for themselves in terms of how much ammo they're making them waste. Plus, if any shot gets off, it's all an additional kill, I guess, to your side. Not really too sure what's happening here. Starting to move his Jaegers up a little bit more, I believe. Yep. Then if you've managed to get these guys into there we go, into a little bit of fire, either A, going to force them to pull backwards, or B, going to force them to push up a fully commit and try and take this down as quickly as possible. I'll probably opt for that, considering you do have a lot more men garrisoned here. Plus the French, I believe it. No, I wouldn't say they'll charge just yet. If they do, it'd be relatively foolish. Over here, however, as you can see, the Russians have managed to get their guys up in a relatively nice formation, shooting up, whereas light infantry can have more than one rank firing at a time. Militia units here are pretty outstanding. You know, I was looking, like watching up here, and they're sort of half coaxed about, not really all in that sort of places. I was wondering what they're actually doing with the units, but now it's all starting to pay off. I don't know if the Russians do manage to get the odd shot off. I don't know if they're even going to connect into anything. Honestly, it would be wise to pull them back up again. I don't think they are. They don't have to worry about getting shot at all, which is nice. Maybe one of these units here, but I don't think they're going to commit to pushing them up any further than they need to, because you can just turn 2 of these units around and return that fire. I don't know what they're going to do with this now, is either pull back to not sustain as many casualties, or push forward to try and kill them. But the only bad thing about that, obviously, the Russian Jaegers aren't exactly going to let you do that with much ease. Oh, look at this small Prussian cavalry charging in here. Now, if it does manage to connect, it could pretty much do this game. But as I say that, I start laughing because he managed to kill a lot of them, and that is the pain in the ass. As soon as you need your guys to shoot, they realize they're out of ammo. So as you can see here, these guys did manage to connect. It probably wouldn't be wise to leave guys here that don't have ammo, leave them here to hit that, pull them back. But let's say that the setup here that they've got managed to break the cavalry line with relatively ease. I don't know if he's going to pull back these Grenadiers, considering they don't have any ammo. I think they don't have any, maybe the Jaegers. Not too sure about the spike formation or placement either. I think they did use both of them up there. It did pay off for itself there, taking out a French unit. Quite some Grenadiers here, so the Grenadiers obviously probably, unless they get a lot of reinforcement fire, they're probably going to rout here. Which not so that's the bad thing, they're kind of paid for themselves. Sorry, I need a water. Plus, it will just give a chance for more units to take out the cavalry, and then probably get yourself set Polish Legion as well. So it could probably could pay off for itself in the long run. But as you can see, it's like the Prussians starting to move up now. So you got some Prussians reinforcing with their fire. If the Prussians wanted to send a few more men here, so they can probably hold this at a very good ease. Polish Legion now going straight into melee with the already squared formationed up German Fusiliers. Obviously not going to win that, despite the Polish Legion, I believe, being the third, maybe the third best common unit in the French army, followed, or only really being by Young and Old Guard. If I recall correctly, that may be completely wrong. I say common, like things like the elite infantry you can have like one of. I didn't really bother counting that. There you go. The Russians are starting to mobilize something. I'm not too sure what they're going to do here. They could just completely set up these Fusiliers, maybe get the old unit from the French commander, especially the old guard, bring these 3 units up here, and if they push, they could win this quite easily. They're saying that Russians are starting to bring some reinforcements up themselves, and also you can counter this, but if they do manage to pull too much away from the left hand side, then you've got Twistfoot and a couple of old guard heroes obviously as well to push upon this side. So if they played aggressive, they could obviously break these 2 sides already and not really having to worry about the Russians, which is, as always, easier said than done. As you can see, they do seem to be quite committed into aggression to this side. However, they're not really being reinforced by the gunfire of the Prussians. The Prussians aren't really bringing up any men to help in this as well, nor with the Swissfoot, and I believe they were actual infantry. They could probably try and do a little bit more in terms of actual firepower. They could have done a lot more damage and then committed to a charge. As you see here, obviously the musketeers are starting to go now for additional reinforcements. This could have been done a little bit sooner. It could have been executed a lot better. Coming over here now, coming over here. Then I don't know. Part of me sounded slightly harsh, and I don't know why. Oh. Coming over here now, you got. Oh, still got. The next units are paying for themselves unbelievably well. I forgot this whole river section, surprisingly.
Our men are running, sir.
I want to commit these guys to a charge now to pull these guys back. I don't know if these were the units. Did they have? Nope, they have just been pulled from the left hand side, so they are quite comfortably sitting on a good ammo supply. So they've got to be careful now, because what's going to happen here is they're probably just going to open fire and break those units. So they're going to be careful here, because your allies had a shot at the same time and starting to kill a fair few of your own men. It's all very intrigued over here, as you can see here. He's got 3 more units here, so do try and push or try and get into a better position where they can actually get some fires off. You've got more reinforcements here, plus he's got these guys here spread out, probably to counter any form of side hit, plus the cavalry which appear to have moved. Is that the cavalry that charged earlier? Nope, they are here behind the lines. Do a quick look over there. It's probably wise to pull these guys back now a little bit, pretty, because the Prussians are starting to reinforce their lines, and also you got these guys here already doing the useful thing, and absorbing, or making not even absorbing the damage, making the Prussians completely waste their ammo in all terms there. So obviously the Prussians are going to be on the ammo, so I wouldn't say you've got to duke it out properly due to having one of the musketeers. And does he still have his foot guard in here somewhere? They're over here. Keeping an eye on these guys. I don't know if they reposition themselves to carry on firing upon this guy's there. The only bad thing is, as you can see now, they are in the bank as well, so they're going to be wasting their ammo just as much as the Prussians are. So probably, like I said earlier, we just pull them back a little bit, or just turn them off fire for now, see if you can coax them around a little bit, or even better than that, like I said, bring them down here slightly and get those additional shots off here. Managed to force the Prussians back again. It's not often you see the Prussian army having to fall back. I say falling back, they could be tactically withdrawing. These units may have just routed their own men, and we'll probably end up doing the same for this unit unless they do something about that shortly. You can catch them off guard here. No, you can't. You start moving. Yeah, okay, don't worry. I'm talking out my ass. Not too sure how communication is going between the French and the Prussian armies. I was thinking when I was looking here then that this was wasted potentials earlier between them. Should have just been something that they wanted to do, but I just slightly mis-executed it. So as you can obviously see, the Prussians are slightly delayed and cautious to what the Russians are actually doing. To be fair,
One of
I
our
am
units has used all its ammunition,
slightly
sir.
cautious to what the Russians are actually doing. The Jaegers now are also out of ammo. What are they getting fire at? Oh, Old Guard, I believe. Yes. Any freebie on Old Guard's a good freebie. Any damage towards them is probably the best thing in the world. Oh, wonderful. Looks like we came to another little stalemate, so I will just quickly hit the go faster button. As soon as I do that, I will stop in a second because the Russians are starting to move up. Obviously now moving on the Russians, also you force the Musketeers to move up ever so slightly. You got some of the Fusiliers of course returning some fire. Don't know if they're going to commit to anything proper. Looks like they actually are going in for a charge. Probably could have been a lot more devastating, but I think some of the Russian bullets did fall shy of this little bank here, not quite out of the dirt. Musketeers do manage to get up. That's also one thing you're going to be worried about as well, because that did hit a few of the militia units here. I'm surprised I actually managed to hit a few of their men here. Delaying that, though, trading a militia unit for a musketeer unit, despite the numbers, has been incredibly beneficial. And as you can see here, they can just repeat that same tactic again, but losing these Jaegers here, because you've got a lot of cover fire from the bank here and up and around. That little conflict did spark everybody to kick off though, because now, once again, the trees have been filled with nothing but the smoke of their guns. So now, Russia's gonna have them to defend two riverbanks at once. I think France is very content with sitting in the little village here and probably just trying to think we're nice, we can hide in this building for probably ever, and we'll let the Prussians deal with the Russian and the Austrians. What could go wrong? I do hear charging. There you go, that's the cavalry starts to mobilise up. Russia is now not Prussia. Starts to mobilise some of its musketeers now, so he's going to be very deadly here for his cavalry units. Gone square formation, obviously just managed to get outside here, so we'll be protecting these guys ever so slightly, and that is the cavalry gone straight off the back. Obviously got these two units here, plus more of the Jaegers here defending. He's also got these guys two here now to set up. So you now have got the three defending units here of the Jaegers going to be countering this. I don't know what it's going to do with the musketmen. As I was saying in that sentence, I saw exactly what he's going to do. He's going to send them into melee because fuck it, you're Russian and you're going to win nonetheless. Oh, look at that. This unit here, which I believe was hidden for quite a while, has managed to open fire and hit straight into the lines of the Prussian Fusiliers here. That seems like a lot more than 100 range to me. Maybe my calculations are completely off today, and it's going to be fun if it is, because I'm going to be driving. Look at that, under the heavy fire, the Prussian Fusiliers here will not stand much longer all of this. The Musketeers here did manage to hit a lot better angle against the Musketeers here, but obviously they were winded, so their charge was weakened and terrible anyway. Plus you had a few fire from the front and a little bit from behind you have to worry about. So I'm not too surprised that they did manage to break there. The amount of gunfire now has managed to force the Prussians to pull back the bulk really of their men, leaving these guys here just to sort of try and get some shots off. Although against that, they could probably do more damage if they were slightly more spread out, but due to the amount of fire hitting them, they'd probably be wise to pull these guys back now. Just to save a few casualties, it's pointless having these units here because these guys can just turn around pretty easily and agree open fire. So as the rest of the men pull back, it would have been wise to pull these guys back as well. I'm not really too sure what's standing over here with the Austrians. The Austrians, I believe, been controlled by our good old HC general. Hey, look at that. I announced who you were without having to say your surname. Well, the latter of your name. Ugh, sorry. Long week. Ooh, just they said that looks like the Austrians starting to mobilise. I was about to commentate on that because that's going to go one way really for the Prussians, and that's not a good way. As you can see here, the I don't think they'll manage to get a charge off, especially since they may be yelling, but they're using more of their energy shouting than they are actually using their legs, meaning the fact that that happened. And now that's kind of freed up all of these guys here to get a few more gunfires upon the Grenzers, and if they want to, the Jaegers. Pretty wise to just push up a little bit because you can outgun that very easily, and I doubt Austria wants going to commit these extra guys here. French unit being hidden for this whole game decided to move, and they are old guard, and they actually are moving now to the left hand side. If they do try and reinforce the Prussian side here, it's going to make the Russians' job a little bit harder than probably what they wanted it to be. Honestly, I don't know what they're doing. They could have just charged and killed this unit. I don't think the these Jaegers obviously don't have a lot of ammo left, considering that these ones have completely no ammo at all, and now they're all gonna be nothing but a memory and a statistic on a bit of paper. It's a sad fate of being a soldier in these days. Probably a sad fate being a soldier in any time of day. Fucking hell, I want to just use this. Oh. There you go, the Russians are mobilized now slightly across the river. This is where everything gets slightly interesting because the Prussians are spread out more than they probably want to be. I think France is actually starting to decide to think, I may help in this war, and start to mobilize some of their line infantry sort of to, he's got no guard here to cover against the Russians, and he's hopefully going to use his units here to help cover this side to stop any Austrian charge. With that said, now what's he got up here? He's got some old guard and two sets of old guard. I would say it might be wise for the Austrians to push across this riverbank. But against two units of old guard, it's going to probably not end too well for you. Even if you do manage to win, you're not going to have enough units to be 100% effective in all of this. Prussia, however, is now both sides are now like, we don't really care much about who's getting shot, we're gonna get shot. And now just trying to duke it out to whoever here has more guns wins. But as you can see here, Prussia also does have some cavalry, which if they do manage to connect will be devastating to all of the Russian Jaegers here. Then if they do manage to do it, he's got some men here just staying back as safety, and as he got Bushers here, he's going to pull back and put a bit in the square formation. He's got one unit there in square anyway. Okay, half of those units here did manage to get caught up slightly, but with all of this retaining fire, I don't think the cavalry unit will manage to sustain a lot of this battle. Still managing to push on through there and doing even more damage again to the Russian Jaegers, which is I wouldn't say devastating, but at the same time this additional firepower will become incredibly useful against this sort of matchup, especially with the old guard now lining up their little positions. Then if it's wise to break these guys out of the square and then probably push them into melee here just to try and it'll break these musketeers for a start. Oh no, look at that. He's doing that already with his Jaegers. A unit I hope do have no ammunition, because a set of Jaegers can be very beneficial in taking out the old guard. Old guard are slightly smarter than you manage to try and pull away from any form of melee, because I do know that their benefactory trait here is definitely in ranged combat. Amount of gunfire which is happening though, because he managed to break the Prussians' right hand side here. These musketeers probably want to try and reform a little bit. Probably won't be able to get them across here to any form of reinforcements. Probably wise to pull them back here, have this unit here as something to distract the Russians as your elite infantry from both the old guard and your foot guards try and do as much ranged combat as possible. As you can see here, we'll see the Austrians starting to bring over their Jaegers and their Grenzers. That's some additional firepower which will be very beneficial to all of them here. Foot guards are starting to get the fire on. The middle guys don't really seem to do it. Maybe the drummer boy's ears are hurting today. So just the left and the right hand side is on fire. Nope, there we go. Small gunfire coming off now. It's pretty going to be aimed more into his units here, which seems to be chasing down the old guard with relatively ease. The old guard is also not going to be falling back too much. Probably wise to pull them back when you get in square formation, tap in square formation, or even that, just turn them into melee, take out the Jaegers, pull back a bit, and let these musketeers be completely shot down by your other set here of young guard, well, your other set, the set of young guard, plus the foot guards. Although by the looks of it, the foot guards are more concerned about another couple hundred Russians pushing up from the river. To be fair, I would be as well. Wonderful, as you can see here, the foot guards do manage to get a few additional rounds off. The lifeguard foot now, so they've got some, and the the Mosquito? The Mosquito Musketeers. Fucking hell. The Moscow Musketeers have now also got some fire. So there's 2 sets of elite infantry against 1. So in terms of gunfire, I reckon the foot guards are obviously going to pay off a lot better than that. As you can see here, they know that as well. Some few shots here from the Jaegers coming off. I don't know what's happening to my sound. I don't hear much at all. Well, that means it'll still be recording incredibly from you guys. My headset's a little bit knackered and I do need a new one. Oh, it is wise to pull back the foot guards. Even under that sort of fire, you also got some. Where did those foot guards come from? Were they just hidden in the trees again and waiting for their opportune moment? Now, with actually young guard, old guard, and 2 foot guards, the Russians will take lots more casualties than they probably wanted to do in this push. Although, by the looks of it, just the means of guns alone, and if they do try and do any of the charging techniques, I do believe that the Russians will come off the benefactor nonetheless, because they're Russian. Is probably the easiest way to say that. There we go, my sound is back a little bit, I was fiddling with the wire. There we go. Wonderful. Nope, I still don't hear gunshots. I was going to say, I do. Oh, there we go. Yes, my sound is back, and it looks like the old guard managed to catch a slight break and got around off before any melee has committed. Though the additional guys who thought, fuck it, I'm not running, I'm actually Russian, has now charged and completely delayed all from his gunfire here now. There you go, everyone's starting to break. You can see additional firepower is coming off, so while they are removing their lines, they will be taking additional casualties. Jaegers are now out of ammo, so I don't know if they're going to charge now straight into melee. Prussia's being brave, sending in to hit this German unit. I say sending in, more just marching up. But now they have enemy engaged into melee by the Russian. That elite infantry? Sorry, I got slightly distracted here. As you can see, if this wasn't as if they were more populous in their men and you haven't got the Grenzers here whistling down, this sort of setup here is going to be very nice against the Russians here. This one here is going to be done a little bit straighten out your men just a little bit more like the old guys here, so this means that you're going to get lots more guns firing off, and also since you're not racked up in men, the bullet drop damage won't obviously hit guys, and that will also save you just a few more men. Old guard, however, trying to commit to a charge just as the Jaegers here. Jaegers obviously absorbed enough ammo, which is still nice to pay off their own little way, and they stopped. Honestly, don't know why. So there you go, starting to pull back. I know they put them to square formation, which means hopefully a few gunfires will be enough to whittle them down here to really mean nothing at all. And you can see here some more of the Austrians decided to bring up some reinforcements. You've got some Russians over here, I managed to see. Got some musketeers which they sent as reinforcements earlier. I don't know if they're keeping that line there secure. Maybe beneficial if you brought those over before the Austrians, because the Austrians were holding that line previous. By the looks of it now, as you can see, obviously these are the lifeguard foot against obviously the normal foot guys. Lifeguard foot I'd probably put down as the better combatants in terms of melee. Still got some shoes to lose here. They have been sitting down in this game doing not a lot, and they could have been brought back to help in this charge when it was most needed, and it would have been a different story possibly. But at the end of the day, I'll still put my money on the Russians. See another set of lifeguard foot here now, so just to form a line a little bit across. I say form a line, he's got them in a shoot and move. The rally has been dropped for everybody. Young guard would not be able to survive the Russian bombardment heading its way. I say that. The Russians decided not to do that and going for a melee. I think traditionally when the Russians are at war with the Ottoman Empire in real life, what they would do is fire 2 rounds, plug bayonet, and then charge. The best system in the world. Charging this young guard unit here now off, making them complete redundant. Everything we're going to worry about alongside obviously the remaining Prussians is obviously the 2 sets of old guard knocking over here. What's he got here? He's got some Swiss foot. Right, not too concerned about them. It would be hazardous as well to pull these guys in to help. The sort of reinforcements would have been best if you get this unit, or you had this unit and all these other units to pull them back across here. Right, just now as we're chasing, I will put it on fast forward again, just purely because I don't know how long this battle has gone on for, but I'm going to assume a little bit long. And the reason why I put it up at normal, because I'm talking to hear charges. It is the enemy general. Oh, he actually brought a named general. Waste of funds, but will have its benefits somewhere down the line. Wonderful, as you can see it. I don't see the Prussian Fusiliers holding their own against Lifeguard foot, and in fairness, it is now just turned into a click attack. That's brave. That's incredibly brave. But if you're going to send out your general, you send him out like a man. And as I say that, he retreats because he is French. Right over here, as you can see, the Emperor's Own, they got elite infantry here themselves pushing up, which can probably do copious amounts of damage. Probably take out the foot guards with, I say relatively easy, so we'll take some casualties, especially if they do decide to sit here. But I do believe they're going in for an actual. I know they're trying to push up here along the bank. Reinforce with the Russians, you can probably break the side quite easily. Over here, as you can see, the amount of men that everyone still does own will manage to. I say that actually, in terms of number balance, it is still relatively equal if you counter the fact that the French do have still elite infantry and will do very well in terms of pure forcing it into gunfire. Over here, as their generals have turned into heavy cavalry, they've turned into actual focused melee. Or sadly though, the Swiss foot has turned around and started shooting at the Russians and did manage to kill the general staff there. However, it looks like here these guys here can just push up now. Do got that? You can probably just hit these guys here from the side. Do heavy damage to the old guard, because you managed to flank old guard. Doesn't matter how good they are, they're going to be completely destroyed. Same with all forms of line infantry. Nobody is immune to bullets. Anyway, Seminovsky. Wonderful, and they shoot straight, not into the Swiss foot here, but they shoot straight into the old guard, realizing they are the greater threat, and that was the first round off. Now is going to be very difficult for anyone to really do anything, because everybody now apparently has elite infantry marching up, apart from you got the Grenadiers here, which I assume they're going to be used just as bait, much like the militia units have been pretty much for the whole of this game. Although they have actually been targeting the enemy general. The enemy general is now going for another gracious charge. Gracious? Well, the Hungarians are gone. Fucking hell. There you go. I don't see if he commits the Hungarians to turn around and charge as well. I don't see his general really getting out of that with much ease. But as you can see, the Hungarians have decided to charge straight into another unit. I believe they go straight into the Swiss foot. Or yep, they've gone to the Swiss foot. I don't know if they're going to charge around and try and hit into the old guard, which some of them have managed to do. So you have effectively delayed these two units and the general into melee just by using your Hungarians. It's good. I don't know what he's got up here, so what's an old guard hidden in the buildings? I say hidden, pointlessly located in the building. So as you can see here now, widespread men here from the Austrians, got some Russians here, it's going to be spreading around. Russians here, you got some more Austrians here again. It is now like shooting fish in a barrel, plus the Hungarians are going to keep hounding them down, so they can't return fire with really any ease. Probably what I would do now is send in the Swiss foot just to play this, pull back the old guard, and try and do something in this town. Quite a little cool zone, but at the end of the day, with that many men, it will be slightly in vain. Get everyone into charge and go out in a bloody battle. Well, I don't know if what's just going to be mobilizing his men now, considering that the old guard are finally out of the building.
Our men are running, sir.
Jeremy's still not dead, and is now going in for another charge. absolutely fantastic. Let's see, you got Emperor Zones, 1 second. I pulled back some. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, someone's came through the door. Alright, as a result, I can hear more charging. Look at that. He is being clever, he's using his jammer to hit. Sorry. to get in and pull out again. Keep doing that, it will effectively break the Austrian Grenadiers without taking hardly or little to make casualties to himself. Really why send them out of skirmish formation, just sort of try and face him, just get a shot off against him. Because he is now going to pull back down and do that again. As you can see here, some of the musketeers from the Russians have managed to break under the bombardment of the old guard. Did manage to finally break the Grenadiers with his cavalry charge. Got these guys in square formation now, the Semenovsky Life Guard, which probably going to hopefully take out their general, but generals apparently are the luckiest people in the world in this game, and it gets quite frustrating. There we go, and the general is dead. Falls down now to the Austrians against the French. Probably the most passive people of this game have now become the final judgments of it. I say that, you still do have the Russians obviously here. I'm not denouncing, but the Russians are no longer effective in this little bit. You now have the gunfire against Swissfoot. These old guards now trying to reform themselves. Swissfoot probably end up breaking here. Yep, as you guys see, they have just broke under the pressure of the gunfire. Probably wise now to pull these back more along this line on it. There's charging, but I believe that's going to be from. No, that was from the guards here. But I would have just put them in square formation. Or and then again, contribute to the charge. So at the end of the day, you have more men, and you're probably relatively equal in terms of melee. So I like to think that I do this a little bit better than that. I don't know if this is the German feudalist here. It's probably wiser to send these guys into the old guard here, or to help the Russians, which the Russians don't really need too much help. Because obviously, Karl Schwarzenberg decided to join into the fray. I keep doing gestures and stuff with my hands to realise that you can't see me. And as you can see here, with that unit broken down now, it is only one set of old guard left, and with Russians here up on their left, Austrians on their right, we're stuck in the middle with you. There we go, that unit they slides around. The brave old guard. And it looks like that has been the game. I don't know how long it was, apologies if it was a little bit too long. Special thanks to Cold Winter, of course, playing the triumphant Russians alongside with the equally as triumphant HC General. Playing as the Austrians, we also had SRD Home, or Strudholm, as the French, and Butcher from NGE as per Russia. And I have been Carpus, and I hope you enjoyed. More next time. Oh wait, no. I was gonna say again, thank you to General for patience getting this video up. And secondly, if you like any of your games to be recorded and uploaded to this channel, send the attachment. We'll send an attachment of the replay file to carpuschannelreplay at outlook.com. I believe it is. I will obviously put the email address into the description field below. And if you're watching this in 20 years, maybe the description below is now to the left or to the right. I've been Carpus, and I hope you enjoyed.